That's impressive.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Cheyenne Adamson, and welcome to the Yes Phonics channel. I'm the owner and operator, and this is where teachers, homeschoolers, and educators everywhere come to get valuable teaching information and insights. So today's topic is going to be about why should I test my students if I'm teaching to mastery? It's a pretty common topic that comes up in the homeschooling realms, and there's a few different opinions on it. And here's our take. What does the word test in your mind conjure up? Fear? Anxiety? Dread? I know for me sometimes it does. Other than negativity, many homeschoolers don't really see the point for testing. Why bother testing if I'm teaching to mastery? I actually want to make a case for the value of testing your students. Testing will not thwart teaching to mastery, it will only enhance it. I want to take a brief pause here and talk about my good friend Pam Fink. She's a phonics specialist and she's been a tutor and teacher for over 20 years. And to be fair and to give credit where credit is due, she actually wrote this blog that we're talking about right now. And I want to talk a little bit about her experience teaching and tutoring. She spent years teaching her own two children or leading homeschool support groups. She had opportunities to discuss and encourage in the area of education and homeschooling. All those things for her abounded. And so during these years of her tutoring and teaching, some of it was in a private Christian school, others was in a public setting. She found out that no matter how well a person teaches to mastery, there's almost never enough review material. Unless you actually test the subject, you really don't know how well your students know it. She goes on to talk about how her husband recently gave some credibility to her findings that she thought were only her personal unproved opinion. He explained, and I quote, "In the business world, there is a maxim that states, you can't improve what you can't measure." Pam went on to say that she became intrigued in the saying, and she went on to do a little research. And she found a great article by Todd Smith. He's an entrepreneur and author of Little Things Matter. And he explains this idea further. Here are a few highlights from this particular article. He says, "It's not a stretch to say that any team, organization, or person who wishes to perform better or accomplish more has meaningful points of measurement. If they didn't measure their performance, how would they know if they improve? Quite simply, what gets measured gets done." And if I think about it, and if we think about that, that's true. The very nature of knowing that something is being monitored causes us to work harder and perform better. And so his quotations end there. If you want, you can go to www.littlethingsmatter.com. So, all in all, assessments can come in many forms, most often written. Typical tests can include short answer essays, multiple choice, fill in the blanks, labeling of pictures and diagrams, and solving problems. Oral assessments can be good as well and should be given, but they're better used for a continual review of learned concepts rather than a formal measure of what was learned. So a popular form of testing for some homeschoolers is to discuss what your student has learned and have him or her tell you about it. So in the elementary stage, grades are less important because they don't follow a student into high school or college, but everyone likes to know how they're doing. So tests are a good measure for that. As your children get older, it's necessary to test them because it's a part of preparing them for the life ahead. If you prepare your kids for the world in which they are living, and understand it's not tests for the sake of tests. It truly is for just getting a measure of what they can learn. Tests can be used in many ways, for a sense of accomplishment, a measure of how well things are progressing, or an assessment of strengths and weaknesses of the student or of the curricula itself. So, all in all, essentially, we can't get away from tests in one form or another. They're universal, they're everywhere. And they're an additional way we can prepare our children and ourselves, really, for a lifetime of learning. So that's it for today's topic. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found it useful or if you found this content interesting or discussion provoking, please leave a comment, like our video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But that's it. And as always, until next time, fellow educators, be well.